Malaysians urged to continue complying with SOP during Deepavali. Welcome to Updates at Noon with me, Brendan Lepore. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob yesterday reminded all members of Keluarga Malaysia who will be celebrating Deepavali this Thursday to continue complying with the standard operating procedures SOPs to protect themselves from the risks of COVID-19 infection. He said everyone should continue to be vigilant while celebrating the Festival of Lights.
Kepada seluruh masyarakat berkaum India, kaum Hindu di seluruh negara, saya ingin mengucapkan selamat menyambut Hari Deepavali.
The Premier said this after going on a walkabout around Little India in Brickfields yesterday. Also present were Human Resources Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan and Deputy Minister of Federal Territories Datuk Seri Jalaluddin Alias. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the majority of the traders he met yesterday said they were grateful and very much satisfied for the chance given to them to operate their business as usual. He added that the response was very encouraging and the members of the public are also happy as they get to shop. The Sabah government will consider reducing the compulsory quarantine period for individuals from abroad entering via the international checkpoints in the state. Sabah Local Government and Housing Minister Datuk Masidi Manjun, who is also state COVID-19 spokesman, said it would be applicable to citizens and non-citizens who arrive in Sabah from abroad. Elaborating further in a statement released, Datuk Masidi said fully vaccinated individuals could be considered to undergo 7 days of compulsory quarantine, while those who are not vaccinated or have incomplete vaccination must undergo 10 days of quarantine. He said in addition, travellers with complete vaccination can be considered to undergo quarantine at home if it is deemed suitable. Commenting on the development of COVID-19 in Sabah, Datuk Masidi said 393 new cases were recorded yesterday, bringing the cumulative number to 218,342 cases, with 7 deaths reported. He said 602 COVID-19 patients were reported to have recovered and allowed to be discharged from hospitals and low-risk quarantine and treatment centres. This brings the cumulative total of recovery cases to 207,601 people, while 1,867 patients are still receiving treatments. The COVID-19 self-test kits is available for as low as RM6.90 a unit. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Natalingi said this followed the move to expand the sale of the test kits to supermarkets, convenience store networks and petrol stations in stages. Elaborating further on the matter, he said his ministry was told the prices offered at supermarkets and convenience stores are as low as RM6.90 each, while KK Supermart is selling them for only RM6.60 each. He said this is surely very good news to consumers in light of the situation today. The minister said this when launching the COVID-19 self-test kit sales at KK Supermart in KL International Airport 2, KLIA, and inspecting the 2021 Deepavali festive season maximum price scheme in Sepang, Selangor yesterday. Datuk Seri Nata said the decision of the government to expand the sales of the COVID-19 self-test kit would bring down the price with the readiness of stock and through competition in the retail sector. As of 28 October, he said 2,570 business premises nationwide had been approved to sell the COVID-19 self-test kits, whereby 494 are under KK Supermart and Superstore Sendiran Berhad, including at KLIA2. On the new ceiling price of the COVID-19 self-test kit, Datuk Seri Nanta said it would be announced soon and its determination would take into account all aspects including the interests of consumers and traders. The approach implemented by the government in the presentation of Budget 2022 last Friday is seen as an effort to find a middle ground and balance to manage the country's economy. Bank Islam Chief Economist Muhammad Afzal Nizam Abdul Rashid said the presentation of the budget with an allocation of 332.1 billion ringgit could provide convenience to all walks of life. Muhammad Afzal Nizam said as a result, the country's economy is expected to recover better with a gross domestic product rate of 5.5% to 6.5% next year. He, however, said that the country is still facing a period of uncertainty over the COVID-19 situation, and they still need allocations for the purchase of vaccines and to finance health costs, as well as help the survival of the vulnerable, the B40, and also small and medium enterprises, SMEs. Apart from that, he opined that financial assistance for the long term should not be continued. Instead, the government should continue to create employment opportunities, especially for the youth. Muhammad Afzal Nizam also said that the allocation of 14.2 billion ringgit could revive the SME sector, which is the engine of national growth. He also suggested SMEs should discuss with their banks to solve the problems faced and improve their cash flow. The Malaysia census, My Census 2020, ended recently with 32.3 million or 99.2% out of the country's 32.6 million population was successfully enumerated amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Census Commissioner Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said 9.5 million living quarters and 8.1 million households were counted during the census, which began in July 2020. Commenting further on the matter, Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said, following the outbreak of COVID-19, the implementation of My Census 2020 was also affected, and the face-to-face census had to be postponed several times. A total of 330 census enumerators were infected with the coronavirus during the census period, and one of them had even died. He also said the My Census 2020 operation is officially closed after being implemented nationwide for 482 days at a cost of 400 million ringgit. The My Census 2020 was launched on 7 July 2020 and had gone through several rescheduling and adjustments due to COVID-19 and the imposition of the movement control orders. Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said the census was conducted through 5 modes, namely e-census, computer-assisted telephone interview, CATI, computer-assisted personal interview, paper and pen interview, and drop-off and pick-up. Of the total 32.3 million residents enumerated, 23.6% were enumerated online via e-census and CATI, while the rest via face-to-face interviews. On the preliminary findings of the census, the Census Commissioner said the country's average annual population growth rate is 1.6%, while the average household size is 4.0 in 2020. The new mandatory standard for electromagnetic field EMF emissions from radio communications infrastructure, MS-EMF, took effect beginning yesterday. According to Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, through a statement released yesterday, the new MS-EMF is updated with the latest EMF exposure limits, in line with the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection guidelines, published in 2020. The statement said the new MS-EMF also refers to international benchmarks that also take into account current and future technologies to strengthen aspects of EMF implementation, monitoring and evaluation so that it is more systematic and effective. It said MS-EMF is important to monitor EMF radio frequency emissions by service providers, as well as ensure the safety of the public in line with the current developments in communication technology, including the 5G network, which will be implemented in the country soon. According to MCMC, the preparation of the new MS-EMF was made through a public inquiry held from 19 July to 17 September. The final report of the public inquiry prepared by MCMC under Section 65 of the Communications and Multimedia Act, CMA 1998, can be accessed at MCMC's website. Welcome back. Kelantan United FC's KUFC hopes of securing 3 points in its Malaysia Cup Group C match against group leaders Melaka United FC were dashed after they drew 3-3 at Sultan Muhammad IV Stadium last night. The draw allows Melaka United to retain its unbeaten streak and standing as Group C leaders with 10 points after 4 matches, and KUFC in last place with its first point in the group stage. KUFC's Japanese player Yuki Tanigawa opened accounts for the team with the play. KUFC took the lead again in the 79th minute through a beautiful goal by Gassama Al-Fuzaini that began with a solo run from the centre of the pitch and ending with a depth. Wrapping up today's updates at noon, in the top story, Malaysians urged to continue complying with SOP during Deepavali. Don't forget to tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m, available on saluran Berita RTM, YouTube, RTM Clicks website and mobile app. And before we go, we leave you with visuals of the Cumbre Vieja volcano in Spanish island of La Palma that continues to spew lava and ash after more than 1.5 months. Till then, I'm Brendan Paul. Thank you for tuning in. Take care and stay safe.